Are you getting low views on your small YouTube channel? Well, join the club. There are literally hundreds of thousands of YouTube creators who are suffering from the same issue, including myself. And I want to share a hack with you that is guaranteed to improve your views. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this hack is not guaranteed to make your channel go viral. However, it's guaranteed to help it a little bit, and maybe a lot. I call it kind of the 10% rule. You can make your video 10% better. It doesn't mean you're going to get 10% more views. It might mean you get twice as many views, or 10 times, or 100 times many views. It could go viral because of that. I want you to have some realistic expectations of what might happen. And I also wanted to mention that I can relate if you're getting low views, because I suffer from that same problem. Now, currently my channel has about a little over 4,000 subscribers, which is great compared to some. I know some of you are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. There are a lot of large creators who are offering advice about your channel, and they're a little bit unrealistic because they prey off of you. They've got a lot of views and they make videos about what I'm talking about. They want to encourage you, just come to their channel, look at their videos. And to be honest, a lot of them are very good and offer great advice, but YouTube has become extremely competitive in 2025, and it's just not that easy to become a large creator. So it's very important that your videos are of very high quality. And this hack that I'm talking about is going to improve your videos. And without beating around the bush too much, what I'm talking about is using AI for your title and your description. Now, I'm sure you've heard that one of the most important things about click-through ratio is thumbnail and title. And that's true, but in this video I'm talking about using AI for title and description, which is slightly different. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about a thumbnail thing that you can do, which is not AI, but is very important. Now, most of you probably know about this, but YouTube has a feature now where you can compare thumbnails, and you can compare 2 or 3 thumbnails. And I recommend that you use this feature, and I want to share with you an experience I had. I decided to use it. I had a video. I came up with 3 thumbnails, and I thought they were all pretty equal. And I put them into the test, and it wasn't long before one video had 60% of the click-throughs, and the other 2 had less than 19%. So it adds up to 100. So basically what YouTube does is they look at the total number of views, and then they attribute a percentage to each thumbnail. The one thumbnail with over 60% was 3 times better than either of the other 2. So in other words, my click-through percentage would be potentially 3% higher. And that's huge. And I never would have been able to figure it out. So do use that feature. If you're like me, I have no idea which thumbnail people are going to relate to the most. So it's very useful for me to figure out 3 different thumbnails, post them, and then see which one is best. Now, next I want to share something with you about AI that illustrates that it's way smarter than me. I was under the assumption that click-through ratio was all about the thumbnail, and SEO, which is search engine optimization, is all about the title. So I was writing titles that were rich in keywords, but they didn't have any emotion in them. Nothing to draw my viewer in, no questions asked, nothing to arouse curiosity, just keywords. So I put a question into AI asking if the title was only about SEO or if other factors such as emotion mattered. And the answer I got back from them was that it's very important to have that emotion in your title and description. So that's just a good example where I just was way off. So then I went into AI and asked it to make me a title and description. And then it'll offer you several different title options. So you can choose one that suits you best, that you like, and or you can modify and adjust it. But it will bring in that emotion to your titles. And I want to cite one example. There was a video that I had recently posted, and the click-through rate was a dismal 1.8%. I mean, that is really horrible. I changed the title and description to have a little bit more emotion in them while still keeping a good SEO. And the click-through ratio quickly came up to 2.1%. And keep in mind, that's not the new click-through ratio. The new click-through ratio has to be higher than that in order to bring up the old ratio from 1.8. So that's pretty impressive. Now, if any of you are wondering where I am, right now, I'm going to show you. I am on the Bay Trail on the San Francisco Bay in the East Bay near Richmond and Albany. And it's a beautiful spot. That's Angel Island over there, and way in the distance is Mount Tamalpais. Somebody's flying a kite over there, and you've got the guy out here playing drums, which you probably will hear. Now, I know what you're thinking. Paul, doesn't AI kind of suck? Don't people dislike it? Well, yes, in some ways. In fact, if you look at YouTube right now, half of the videos that come up in my feed are AI, and a lot of them are generated. Sometimes they call them faceless YouTube channels. And what you can do is go into YouTube and you can ask it to write you a script let's say, write me a script about two neighbors. There's a man and a wife living, and then next door they have a teenage son. The teenage son gets involved with the woman that's married, and then they have an affair, and then they murder the dad. And you can say, write me a script that's 12 minutes long. It'll write you a script, and then you can use an AI voice to do the voiceover, and then you can just ask it to show some scenes of neighborhoods in the USA. And then you can put it all together and create this video. And suddenly you've got this video that tons of people watch. And I've looked at the comments on these. I hate these things. They're awful. But you can look at the comments and you will find a lot of people believe it because of the way they comment. So just be aware of that. But when I'm talking about using AI for titles and descriptions and editing them yourself while still creating your own videos, then those rules really don't apply. They can read the title and description and it doesn't necessarily look like AI, especially if you apply your own edits to it when you post it. So not to worry about the hate on AI. It doesn't apply to this type of video. The other thing I should mention about those faceless videos, just for information, is that a lot of these videos are coming from foreign countries. People don't even speak English. You don't have to speak English. They can create these videos that do quite well, and then it's all done in AI, which is really an interesting concept, and people fall for it. But what I'm talking about has nothing to do with that. Okay, so using AI for your title and description is absolutely guaranteed to improve your SEO and your CTR, and that's very important for your videos. So do give it a try and let me know what you think. Now, which AI should you use? For me, I ended up using ChatGPT, and there is a free version that's awesome. I used that for a while, and I used it so much that I used up my free queries. So I just decided it was worth it, and I signed up for a year subscription. It's only $60, which seems really reasonable to me. There are a lot of people who say that ChatGPT is kind of aging and there's some new ones that are better. That's probably true. I don't know, but ChatGPT is definitely awesome for me. So do your own research, figure that out. But as I say, it's guaranteed to improve your SEO and your CTR, especially if you're a dumbass like me and was doing it wrong to start with. Now, I mentioned a tip that I'm going to give you. That's other ways that you can improve your views. That's not AI related. And I want to point to another YouTube creator, and her name is Vanessa Lau. Now, Vanessa has nearly 1 million subscribers at this point. I'm sure she's going to make 1 million. And she's somebody who started and had to learn the whole thing, and she shares all the things that she's learned along the way. And she's very meticulous in how she handles her channel. She works hard on it, but she gives some pointers that are just amazing. So I'm going to put a link to that video down below, and you can look at her other videos as well. The other thing I wanted to mention is there's these large YouTubers who make a living by, I don't want to say praying, because their intentions are good. One of the ones I want to bring to light is Think Media. There's this guy named Sean Cannell, and he's constantly doing videos like, is it good to start a YouTube channel in 2025? And he's always going to say, yes, it's a great time. There's growing like crazy and there's all these opportunities. And he's not wrong, but he benefits by having a lot of new creators who are struggling because they look to him for advice. And he has programs and courses that you can take and pay a lot of money. And again, that's fine. If you want to do that, it's good information. It's excellent information. So I do recommend his channel. He offers a lot of great videos on how to approach being a YouTuber, and he's been doing it for a long time, so he has a lot of experience. So check his channel out as well. And there are many others that you can look at. But I just discovered this AI thing that worked really well for me, and I wanted to share that because I am also a small and struggling creator. I've got over 150 videos up now, and I try to make them better each time per Mr. Beast's advice. His great advice is, every time you make a video, try to make one thing or several things or a few things just incrementally better. And over time, you'll get better and better and eventually become a better YouTuber. I've done that, but my views are still low. But lately, and a lot of people have experienced this, is that my views seem to have dropped some. So, and I think that is just related to the fact that it's getting so darn competitive out there, and you have to have really good content in order for people to watch your stuff. Another thing I wanted to do is just share with you how I use AI for titles and descriptions. And so what I do is I go into ChatGPT and I say, or I type, please write a title and description for a YouTube video with high SEO and CTR that talks about such and such. And then it'll do that. Now, the other thing that you can do for videos that I already have a description for, I'll put in my description and ask AI to improve it. I did this in one case, and I thought my description was pretty good, but it was just one big paragraph. It's pretty long, and I thought it was a little cumbersome. So what ChatGPT did is it went in there and it wrote a new description which had all my points in it, but it separated it into bullet points. And I looked at it and I thought, it's way more efficient, much easier to look at. It's very easy to go down and look at the bullet points rather than seeing this big paragraph that's definitely TLDR. But the new description with the same information, it was probably written a little better than I can do, and it was divided up in a way that it was much easier on the eyes. And I want to make one more point. If you are already using AI for titles and descriptions, let me know how it's worked for you. I'm really curious about that. So make a comment below and tell me what it's done for you. And if you've never used it, I want to ask you to please save this video, download it or whatever, so you know how to get back to it. And once you've tried it, I want you to write me back and tell me what it's done for you, how much it's helped, etc. Maybe give me some numbers or just what your impressions are. And then other people can read those comments who are just looking into it, and it'll help out a lot. And thanks for coming along. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, thanks for watching.